The following is a Cruisers Motorsports exclusive.
How did you do that? How did you do that?
What is up, guys? Skywarp72 with Cruisers Gaming, and how would you like to 3-star all 12 events in the V10 storyline in Forza Horizon 5? Well, you're in luck, because today I'm going to show you how to do just that. Beating the storyline will net you the Koenigsegg Jesko and an achievement for doing so. Today I'm going to help you do that. But first, if you would help me, it would be greatly appreciated if you reach over, click that subscribe button and the bell icon to stay up to date on all the walkthroughs and great videos that we got coming to you on Forza Horizon 5. Also, check the description below for our title sponsors and links to Cruiser social media. Feel free to join us on Discord, Facebook, and the like. Okay, just a few things that you need to know before we begin. I beat the storyline on a regular controller with no assists on, so you probably want to do the same. Steps here in the walkthrough include many tips, tricks, cuts, and it might make you miss the full experience of B10, so if you want the whole experience, you might have to go back and replay it.
Did you think it was?
Lastly, the 12th and final mission is locked, and it does require you to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in the game. Now, with all that being said, give the video a like, share it with your friends, and let's get into this. Mission number 1 is meeting Frankie Beaumont. Frankie Beaumont is the star of the movie that's being produced. Now, like many of these missions, what you're going to do is you're just going to find the destination on your screen and make a beeline for it. To quote the Dukes of Hazzard, go the way the crow flies. The Mustang surprisingly doesn't do bad in this terrain. Now, while making a beeline for the destination, be very careful. Near the end, there's a couple of houses and a couple of immovable objects that will stop you from completing the mission.
I'm getting an ambient noise wind blowing. No party.
For the second chapter, or scene 15, gear this buggy up to 3rd or 4th gear immediately. It is geared very short. Now what you're going to do is you're going to travel along the first road up top here for just a little bit, then you're going to make a right off the mountain. Be careful driving the buggy off the side of the mountain, however, because it is ass end heavy, it will spin out very easily. Now you have 1 minute to stay off of the road, but if you play your cards right and take just the right route, you can actually make it in under a minute. When the buggy did spin backwards on me, I just pressed in the clutch, turned the wheels to get it to spin around.
How did you do that? How did you do that? How did you do that? How did you do that?
Scene 23 is a two-parter, and the first part really doesn't matter that much. You just stay 60 miles an hour in this truck and get to the destination. As you can see, it gives you 5 minutes to do so. You've got plenty of time. When you first start off in the truck, make sure to jump up to 5th or 6th gear immediately, because the first few gears are just granny gears.
The signals are broadcast as radio impulses into space.
Now this second part of the scene is where you're actually going to get your 3 stars. The trick to this one is staying on the paved road. Do not turn off onto the dirt path when the line tells you to do so. If you want your time to be even faster, bypass this ramp. Now it does give you something to the tune of like 30 seconds to stay on the road. Now you're going to come down to this juncture here, and you're going to bypass the stage, get back on the road, and as long as you're on a road, the countdown doesn't count down. So simply bypassing all the dirt roads, you're saving yourself almost a minute in traverse time. Remember, there's no line, however, once you get off the path, so just be careful going around these last couple of corners before you hit your objective. The trick to scene 35A is do not drive down to the beach. The car is entirely too low and you can't keep enough speed up in the thing to get up to the skills target. Back the car up and head up to this traffic circle here and just drift and destroy stuff around the traffic circle to get to the skills target. Now just keep in mind this Aston is very heavy. You're probably going to have to keep going between second and third gear to keep some momentum up to keep your skill chain going. Scene 35B is much of the same as a skills target. Drift around the airport and try to stay in between these two warehouses, destroying stuff and drifting around. Avoid the big ramps. They actually have a tendency to bottom the car out and knock out your skill chain. It doesn't get much simpler than Scene 43 with the Aston and Volcano Jump. Stay on the intended route the entire time. The only trick to this, I guess, is to be carrying as much speed when you hit the ramp as possible and hit the ramp as dead center as possible to give you max amount of distance. Scene 73 is going to require you to drive this Ferrari through a gauntlet of crap in the town. However, most of it is bypassable. Be careful going up to the first corner. You'll hear the guy that you're riding with tell you to be very careful. Traction will be at a minimum, and this car has a lot of power, so spinning out is going to be very easy. Alright, so what you're going to do is go past the suggested line there and follow this route. Pay attention to the roads on the mini-map if you get confused on the directions, but it's pretty simple. I've only had to do it about 2-3 times here to get myself the perfect route, and this time traffic was very heavy, but I think I still make it in under a minute. Again, be careful, traction is at a minimum. A lot of these buildings do protrude out, so they're easily clippable, and they will stop your car cold if you don't be careful. It's been pretty simple up to this point, but Scene 95 is the most difficult mission there is in the V10 storyline. It is the only mission I would recommend that you turn traction on. The first 5 gears in this Koenigsegg are completely worthless on these wet dirt roads. Now I would recommend running this route a few times and memorizing the route, mainly because there's 3 left turns on this route that will be the bane of your existence. You will need practice to keep up with this Bugatti here. Now you see, I got by the Bugatti early by wall riding here in this corner.
The signals are broadcast as radio impulses into space.
Again, braking early and knowing the route is the key to beating this mission. Traction will be at a minimum on this dirt road here, so you really got to be careful on how you drive it. Now, if you're not already ahead of the Bugatti, here at the bottom of the hill is a very sharp left. The Bugatti is usually ahead of you at this point. Go down right about here, ram the Bugatti to get by them, and then keep them behind you as you accelerate up the hill here. Be careful accelerating up the hill because, again, traction is at a minimum, and even with traction on, you can still screw it up. Like that. And as always, you're welcome to keep the rewind on while you do this. I think that this is the only time that I actually use rewind because it took me quite a few times to get this mission down. Scene 73 puts you in a Honda Civic Type R and has you running up these mountain roads. Now, with them splitting up the destination so many times, it makes it more difficult to cut across and save time. However, we're still going to do that, just at a later point in racing up the mountain here. So you're going to run through the first 3 or 4 destinations here, keeping in mind that this is a front-wheel drive car. It is going to push pretty bad. So keep that in mind while trying to race up around the mountain and going through these corners. Once you reach this spot here that you see on the mini-map, there will be a ramp off to the right that you can cut a major part of the track with. It is difficult to see because the lighting in this scene is not the best. However, you're going to hit the ramp, go across it, miss a bunch of it, skip to this road, and then go ahead and skip to the next road and get to the final destination.
Did you think it was?
The next scene is another simple one. This one requires you to get 240 miles an hour on the festival site speed zone. Now there is quite the time limit on this one, so have some fun with this one. Follow the intended route. There's a couple of ramps and nifty corners and everything you can take. Just make sure that once you hit the speed trap, you're doing at least 240 miles an hour. Not hard in this Koenigsegg. Scene 117 is a 2-parter, and the first part requires you to drive the Koenigsegg to a certain part of the map without exceeding the damage limit. It gives you 5 minutes to do this, and it is a very short drive, so just take it easy. No reason to push it on this part of the mission. Now this mission does give you 5 minutes, and there are 2 ways to do it. First, keep your speed up going down the road here. And when you see the plane, gas it. Go for it. If you have to, go around the plane like I did. Or, if you can't catch the plane or goof up on the way, you've got enough time to just let the plane take off, go to the opposite end of the runway, and make a full speed jump at the end of the runway. Either way, this one's pretty simple. And the V10 storyline comes to a close with one of the easiest missions there are. Simply beat Frankie Beaumont in a race with the rally fighter. This is relatively simple. There's no tips or tricks needed. The Frankie Beaumont character is not a fast driver. And the rally fighter's always been one of my favorite off-road vehicles, so yeah, it was great to close out with this. So there it is, all the tips and tricks you need to smash the 3 stars out of the V10 storyline. I hope this walkthrough helped you out. Subscribe and stay tuned as there's more walkthroughs coming. Make sure to tune in this weekend for the 10,000 subscriber giveaway to win some free Forza swag. And check the links in the description below and join us on Facebook and Discord. I greatly appreciate all the support, my friends, and remember, those friends, well, they're the family you get to choose. I'll see you next week, fellow cruisers.
How did you do that?
How did you do that?